John chapter 15, verse 11. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. Hello everyone, my name is Zach Mazurik and this is the Diocese of Marquette Seminarian Reflection video series. Today is the 6th Sunday of Easter. It's also Mother's Day, so a special thank you to all of our mothers out there, my own mom, all of your moms, grandma, aunts, all of those mother figures in our lives who chose life, who chose to give each of us the gift of life to participate in God's creative act so that we may be here and have this chance to live in this life as their sons and daughters. So if you get a chance today, especially thank your mom, show her that you love her, get her some flowers, some chocolate, but really just most importantly, thank her and maybe share a memory of why she means so much to you, especially on this day, on this Mother's Day. And we are given a witness of the love that our mothers gave to us, this self-sacrificial love in the gospel, in John's gospel, that I specifically want to focus in on today. John's Gospel, chapter 15, comes in the context of the Last Supper discourse. Jesus is speaking to his disciples at the Last Supper in the last meal that he is going to share with them before he is going to die. So he knows exactly the context. He knows exactly what is going to happen the next day. He has already predicted Judas's betrayal. He's already told Peter about how he is going to deny him. And now he is beginning to teach them how they are called to love, how they are called to live out the teachings that he has given them, how amidst all of the miracles and everything that he has done, how are we supposed to follow him? What are we supposed to do? And so throughout it, it's so beautiful. The disciples ask many different questions, right? We get to see that the humanity of the disciples asking Jesus to kind of clarify. And so this is exhibited especially in John's Gospel, chapter 14, so the previous chapter, where Jesus is explaining to the disciples that he is going to go ahead and prepare a place for them, and that where he is going, they know the way. And Philip is all confused. He's like, well, Jesus, how? We don't even know where you're going. How can we know the way? And Jesus responds with this kind of classic line that we know, John's Gospel 14, verse 6, where he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, that no one comes to the Father except through me. And so he clarifies the way, not by some sort of method or these rule books, this rule that we have to follow, but it's a person, it's him, it's Jesus, that it's the way to get to heaven, the way to follow him, it's a relationship. It's a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so this is what he's explaining to them. He's explaining and elaborating on how are we supposed to follow him? How are we supposed to follow this way in our daily lives, in our current situation, our circumstances? And so in today's gospel, chapter 15 of John, he's continuing to show us this. And so there's four kind of main points that he brings us through. And so the first thing is that he asks us to remain in his love, just as Jesus remains in the Father's love. So he says, remain in my love. Okay, Lord, how are we supposed to remain in your love? He says that you need to keep my commandments just as I keep the commandments of my Father. So we're supposed to keep the commandments. All right, that sounds good. Cool. So next he says, okay, how do we follow his commandment? What is his commandment? And Jesus says, this is my commandment, that you shall love one another as I have loved you. Great. Love. Love is always the answer. But the way that he's using the word love in this context, in this phrase, is a special type of love. It's a Greek word that means agape. And agape love is a little bit different than just kind of like friendship or maybe utility or different types of love that we experience in our daily lives, or this maybe romantic love. But the agape love that Jesus is talking about is this total gift, this total giving of oneself to another with no reservations. And we see this so modeled so beautifully in the sacrament of marriage, the total giving of the spouses to one another, so much so that it's open to the creation of new life, right? And so this total gift of the self, agape love, Jesus is calling us to love one another as I have loved you. And so the last question, number 4, is, well, how are we supposed to do this? We're supposed to remain in his love, to keep his commandments, and to love one another as he has loved us. Okay, so that to do all those things, how are we supposed to love? How are we supposed to live this agape love? And Jesus says that there is no greater love than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends. This is our call. This is our calling. This agape love, to lay down our lives for our friends. And so there's two really just practical points on this that I want to give to you, to offer that for your reflection, for your prayer, is this. So to imitate Jesus, what are we supposed to do? To lay down our lives for our friends. So the first question is, all right, who are your friends? Who are the people in your life right now at this moment that you are called to lay down your life for? Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your children, your friends, maybe it's a grandparent, maybe it's just a stranger. There's someone that the Lord has put in your life, that put on your heart, that you are called to lay down your life for. Who is that person? So think of that. It's relational, just as we said earlier, that Jesus calls us to follow him. It's a relationship. And so in that same way, we image that by having a personal relationship with the people around us, right? So who is that person? What is that relationship that you are called to love in? So that's the first point. And the second is this: well, then how are you going to lay down your life for them? How are you going to lay down your life for your friends? What are some concrete, specific ways that you can show that you love them? Whether that be, telling them that you love them, showing them that you love them by your actions, right? By your words, by maybe thanking them, by maybe cooking a meal, whether that be visiting, just spending time together. These simple, maybe small ways. Think of maybe one concrete way to show that love, that agape love, to one person. And that's the way we grow in our holiness, to keep his commandments, doing that one person, one thing at a time, that we may show that we have no greater love than this, than to lay down our lives for our friends. And so, once again, this is the way that we may follow Jesus, to lay down our lives for our friends. And Jesus says this: I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. Because we find that when we give of ourselves, we also receive in this strange way, that we receive this sense of joy for loving one another as he has loved us. So that is my prayer for you, to pick out that one person, pick out that relationship that you are being called to lay down your life for, so that you may love one another as Christ has loved you, so that you may keep the commandments just as Jesus kept the commandments of his Father, and so that we may remain in his love and trust in him. And so especially on this Mother's Day, may we just follow after Jesus in love and showing love for our mothers, to thank them, and ask for a special blessing upon each one of our mothers, that Mary, the mother of Jesus, may watch over and guard you. We may ask for her intercession to lead us to the Father through her Son in the Holy Spirit. So may Mary watch over and guard us and protect us as our guardian, as our intercessor in heaven, that she may bring us ever closer to the heart of her most sacred Son, Jesus Christ. So may God bless you all. God bless especially all our mothers out there. Just know that Jesus is going to continue to bless you and pour out his abundant graces and mercy with you for your sacrificial love that you exhibit every day to us, your sons and daughters. May God bless you all. Peace.